Okay then, it's been a long time since I've spoken to anybody on this, or not even uploaded any of the videos yet. We're in the process of building a homemade furnace, foundry, whatever you want to call it, and unfortunately life got in the way and we got distracted for many months. And in the meantime, I borrowed a nice smaller electrical furnace where we played around with making some copper bars. I'll just get a couple of examples over here. These ones were covered in polish gel and then they glued together before I had a chance to play around with them a bit more. We've got a couple of nice copperies there. Played around with a bit of silver. This was bigger. I've made a little necklace out of it to start with. This is a great little tool. Now I thought, right, we're going to try around and we're going to do a bit of alley. And trying to get the alley, I mean, this bit looks alright, but that was the only good bit that came out. And we had a lot of aluminium in a aluminium shavings bag, and unfortunately while we were doing that, I'm not sure if you can see this, but it got nicely wedged in there. No matter how much I heat this up, it never melted enough for it to go away. So essentially using this furnace for alley was not the greatest. It's about yay full of alley that we can't get out. So we've never fully tested our homemade furnace down here. We set a few fires inside of it to ensure that it's all cured. So we're going to go take it out into the garden. I'm going to get it up and running. I've charged the pump to blow some air into it via the tube, and we'll see if this actually gets up to temperature to melt anything. Got a couple of cans just to try it out. I'm going to stick one of those bars of copper in with the alley to try and give it a bit of weight, because I have a feeling the weight of the aluminium is not enough to break the slag seal at the top and you can't scrape it out. So if we can get that done, we're in a good position, and it lets us know whether this actually gets up to temperature or not, or whether it's going to blow up in my face. That'll be nice and interesting. Other than that, we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. Okay, so we're in a nice open area, well-ish. Cleared away most of the plants just in case, although we are still relatively close to the shed. I've emptied it out from the debris of warming it up earlier. You can notice this is how we put the angle in, so with any luck it will spiral the air as it starts burning. Push it right out to the edge. Just like there. What I've got is I've got a little pump, little airbed pump that will blow in here, hopefully about, just off, give it a bit of Venturi effect, and yeah, hopefully that'll get it up to temperature. Now the only concern I've got is the battery of said pump will probably burn out before it gets to a good enough temperature, but we'll find out. Standard barbecue charcoal, we'll see how that goes. One thing we didn't get around to doing is cutting the hole in the top of the lid. We have the space for it, and with any luck it might actually melt it out for us and save us a trip, but there's plenty of space around the edges for the air to get out. I know from trying before. We've got our 2 bits of copper that will go in with the remaining alley. How do I get that? Yeah. Try and get rid of that. We've got our fire gloves just in case, and then we've got a little canister and stick just to get the fire going. Let's see how it goes. We've placed the crucible from the small one in here, still full of our area. We've filled the surrounding area with solid coal, a little bit of paper down the side from the back to try and get it going. We're going to drop our coppers in there. We're going to let this get warmed up now. We're going to let this hopefully burn and get up to speed before we start putting any air in, so that it warm the whole area up. It does get quite hot and it maintains the heat for quite a while after it's gone out, so this should be quite interesting. So we're back in. Now you can't really see, but underneath this top layer of black, most of that is actually white now. When I touch this with a glove, you can feel the heat through the glove pretty quickly, so it's getting pretty hot. I would have expected it to go a bit hotter by now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pipe in, I'm going to stick the pump on the axe, I'm going to blow in again, I'm going to put the lid on first, and I'm going to leave it for about 2 to 5 minutes. Then what we'll do is we'll take the pump off, or take it off, and we'll have a look back in here, see how it's going. One thing I wish I had like a laser temperature measure, so I could let you all know accurately what this actually gets up to. Maybe that'll be an investment for the future, but definitely not today. Yeah, it looks like the copper's changing colour a little bit already, so that's definitely going to be hot, just nowhere near hot enough to do anything with. So we're going to get the air on and put the lid on and go from there. Let's give it a go. Lid on. Pump here. I mean, it sometimes shakes off this, but we'll see how it goes. You can hear it roaring. I mean, you probably can't, but I can. I'll leave that for a few minutes and come back. Well, the pump has barely lasted 2.5 minutes, which is hilarious. But let's see what it looks like after 2.5 minutes. We're not quite getting the circulation we wanted, are we? Heating up one side, lovely, but okay, fair enough. At least it's actually still blowing through even at that low speed. I'll give it a wiggle. A little bit better. I think once it burns a bit of it down and it gets all white and I'll add a bit more in, I think the circulation might get a bit better after that. But we're going to have to charge this up pretty quick. Welcome back. Now, it looks like we're failing miserably on attempt 1, but our pump did run out of juice. I had a plan B, which was my compressor, Stanley compressor. It's got no charge in it, so yay. I might go plug it in, but that is quite an aggressive injection of air, although that might be what this needs. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to top this up. I'm going to spread a bit more coal in there, get the pump on it again, and then maybe we'll crack out the air compressor. But right now, just coal alone with a low portion of air, yeah, not quite cutting the biscuit. Okay, catch you in a moment. Okay, we've got a little bit more charge. I found my old incinerator lid, thought that might be better. Struggling to stay on there. That's exactly what we want to see, to be fair. So I think if I got the compressor or something with a much better battery life, this would actually have a chance. I mean, it is glowing on the inside of the crucible. I don't know if you can see it. It's definitely getting hot enough. Definitely getting hot enough to melt aluminium. Let's see how it goes. We are making progress. That is glowing on the inside, and we're deciding to go for plan B because this is just dying. But even though that's dying, it's doing an incredible job. What I might need to do is take it a bit further away so the pressure's not so high. I've got no regulator on the air gun, and we'll go from there. This is interesting. We are very much dying here. Let's have a quick scan. We are glowing on the end of the steel. Still got a bit of juice left in it. I think I can see some beading at the bottom. Right, okay, we're going to cut this out. We're going to call this. Oh, interesting. We're going to call this the end of the bed pump trial, which I would say is definitely enough to melt alley. Looks like it might even be starting on the copper there. But we're going to get the compressor on there, and we're going to absolutely blow the hell out of it, and hope we don't die. Yeah, we got a nice spiral on the wind, but oh, ow. Okay, maybe don't use lumpwood charcoal. It's a bit naff. Oh yeah, the spiral's going pretty well. But we're definitely heating one side more than the other, note to self. So that was the end of the pump test, but you can see here we've got glowing copper. This is so close. It's gotta be. I mean, you smack that in a vise now, start hitting it with a hammer, that's deforming like massively. It's probably shattering and splitting all over the place, but yeah, that is almost good to go. I would say if you had a bed pump that had a better battery and wasn't 5 years old and sat in a garage for years, that would probably do the job. Alright, let's blow this up with a compressor. So, I have a feeling that this is very effing stupid, but we'll give it a go. I think if I squeeze very gently, I can regulate the flow. So, oh, lots of probably a bit much. Oh, no. No, we do not want to be burning ourselves. So, note to self, don't wear an ice jacket when you're doing this. Nice little couple of burn holes in that, but nevertheless, we're still getting there. Alright, let's try and do this again. Yeah, I've got the protective gloves on, but I didn't think about the rest of my clothes because, well, I'm an idiot. But anyway, we're going to try and watch this as I try and squeeze it in. Without burning myself. We did just do this a moment ago, but I forgot to press record, so. Well, we've got a little bit more stupidity afoot. So, we're going to strap it to something, put it nice and close, get a nice constant airflow going through there, without me being in the burn radius. Yay! A little bit more than I wanted, so I've pulled it away. Definitely going in though. We'll leave this for a little while and hope for the best. Okay, I've just turned the compressor off for a second so we can talk, and I'm just going to move this. Look, see, lots of oxide in there. Yeah, but right, what we're going to do is we're going to move that off for a second so it calms down. Yeah, not bad. Okay. So we're definitely getting in there. It feels like it's dropped down a little bit. You can see the different discoloration. But what I've got, just to prove if this actually is melting alley or not, I've got my nice little cup of alley shavings. So we're going to do our best to pour it in there, because what you don't know is I don't actually have a way of getting this crucible out. So this is a one-time thing. This is the end of this crucible. So we're going to hope that this all goes in there. It's not doing too bad. Come on, come on. Oh, a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. Come on. I'll scrape anything out of the bottom that comes in. Oh, there we go, a bit too much, right. So we now have a lid full of alley. Like I said, this is the end of this crucible. I couldn't pick it up with the tongs out of the little one anymore, so it needs replacing. What I want to do is really prove that this is going to melt alley. With any luck, I'll probably finish the bag of coal off and keep this going for a few hours and see if this can actually get the copper in there as well. And then we'll try and figure out a way of getting it out, because if it does melt all down, I'll go get myself a cooking tray or something and empty it out, see if I can save the crucible just for a bit of practice another time. And we'll go from there. But yeah, I mean, it's discolouring already, so we've got a good hope. We've got some fireworks. So this is definitely kicking out a lot more heat now. I mean, I've not really upped the air pressure that much, but I can't exactly say it's consistent. I can't really get over it either because it keeps spitting out, but well, I mean, the glow is pretty insane. Doesn't look like the alley's gone down much, to be fair. Wow, but the glow in the coals, wow. Oh, oh. I think if I move the pot across a bit into the airflow, it would actually work a whole lot better, but unfortunately I don't have anything that can grab the pot and move it or even extract it. So, well, we live and learn, don't we? Hope this has been at least informative to some people, and we'll come back when it gets towards the end. Okay, before we call this quits and either a mini success or a failure, I've opened it up and I'm going to put the old lid back on, see if it makes a difference. I might chuck in a few more coals before I do that, and then yeah, see it out. Alright, before I close this up, I just want to point out the whole crucible is glowing now, and I can see orange in the middle of the crucible. So I'm just gonna that's not going to be enough, is it? Oh yeah, look at that, look at that. Okay, get that out. I need something a bit harder than that. What do we got? What do we got? Saw. Let's give that a go. Yeah, this is where I should have brought some more stuff out. Oh yes, that is molten alley. Look at that. This is definitely enough for alley. They've got the copper bar still there, so it's not quite getting up to the 1000 degrees around. That is over, well, 600 I believe, alley, but never mind. Alright, let's close it up, get it back on and see if it does any different. So, the only negative to this is I can't see how it's doing, as I haven't cut a hole in the top. Although you can see the flames poking out the sides because the top's not a perfect steel. I suppose that's a relatively good thing, or we might end up with a cannon. We've melted the tape around the edges, that's an obvious one, but I don't see any melting of the can itself as of yet. It seems to be working pretty well. I mean, it's getting more and more flamey around the edges. Don't know if you can really see it on the camera. I brought my oil pan that I normally use under the motorbike. So when I've finished here, what we'll do is we'll try our best to scoop it out, put it in here and tip it out and see if anything comes out, because we had a lot of solid metal stuck in the bottom of that crucible, which is why it's kind of end of life. And we'll see if any of it comes out. You never know, it might all come out, but I highly doubt it. I think this is very close to being perfect. I think if any of you guys wanted to try this, I've seen another YouTube video that's the guy's got like a cooking oil drip into his air pipe and has most of it going in through that, almost like a burner type extension on the end. That was much better for a homemade one. Solid coal. I'm sure this would be brilliant for getting metal up to temperature to hit on an anvil and reshape, maybe even just to re-temper it, quench it, etc. But we'll see how it goes once this is finished. I'll give it another 5 or 10 minutes, turn it all off, open it up and hope for the best. So update. I've noticed a bit of steam coming out of the top, or smoke I should say. I've got a tiny little hole here, which should be full of refractory, so that's interesting. Perhaps there's a gap going up the side, just letting that steam out. Doesn't look like any's coming out of this hole, and surprisingly that tape's still there. We're getting a bit of discoloration on the top, but that was directly into the nail pot that I put in there, so that might have got roasty toasty, and you never know, it might have actually peeled away. But yeah, we're not far off now, a couple of minutes away from turning it all off, opening it up and having a look. But welcome back. Compressor off, this is just emptying its air up now. Now I'm a little bit concerned to take this handle, because if it's overheated it's just going to come off and cause me issues, so I'm just going to try and move it to the side. Let's see. Yeah, that's okay. Not too bad. Let's try and see the underside. Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's really hot, yeah. Feeling that through the handle. Right, we'll try and get this out. Yeah, it's almost entirely too thin for it now. Come on. Oh, this is stupid. Come on, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Oh, we've got a very hot piece of copper there. That's about it. Oh, we got a misshapen crucible as well. That's changed shape. That's about it. So, successful failure, because we've very much heated the copper. And it's not, oh, it's a bit bouncy, not quite changing. This copper looks basically the same size, and we've got, is that a lump of slag? Yeah, there we go. So the alley, I mean, it's not very good quality alley, so, but we've definitely got molten alley there, as you can see. Let's see if we can see inside this. Not great, not great. So it definitely got hot, but whatever I've got left in the bottom of that, which came from all those alley swarfs, yeah, it's not quite doing it. Come on, let's stand this up, see if we can poke it with a stick. Good enough stick. Yeah, solid, absolutely solid. Super hot and solid, but solid. So, would this work at home? Yeah, if you're a little bit more switched on than I am and you do it properly, yeah, it might do. I mean, look, we've still got black coals down here, so the circulation of the air is not great. Maybe I'd recommend sticking in a second air tube, but yeah, that's probably not going to happen. I'll probably try this again in the future when I get a better crucible, maybe a bigger one, an A class. Yeah. So, we built a homemade one and we tried our best. It definitely got up to temperature for alley. So if you've got better quality alley and a better crucible for alley, this is probably going to work for you. Good luck. Enjoy. Okay, through my interest and sheer stupidity, this crucible is dead. So I'm going to see what's in the bottom. Because every time this is just failing me. There we go. So I would say that, my friends, is an absolute chunk of aluminium. I'll have to treat this and see what it shines up like, because if it shines up clear then it's definitely alley, but it's a lot of crap in there. But yeah, so that's the end of that one. Second PPS. So those of you may want to know, this oil tin I believe is an alley tin, obviously with a refractory resin which is 1200 degrees apparently, or can go up to. I thought you might want to know where it gets hot on the outside. Now don't worry, I tried this with gloves first, but that is absolutely roasting. I would not be touching it for longer than that. It would definitely burn. So in terms of the insulation into it, it definitely gets hot. We're talking 2 inches worth of refractory all round. Perhaps the other side maybe a bit less. Yeah, no, that's even hotter. So it gets very hot. I would definitely recommend a better cubicle container.
Well then, for any of you that have been watching, I hope this has been informative for you. We can conclude on our first test that this was a relatively unsuccessful / semi-successful trial. I have actually since tested the furnace again, which I will upload those videos in the very near future, probably today. Let's see how far we get along with this. And with any luck, anybody who is planning on making one of these at home can use these videos as guides of what not to do in their build, make it a little bit better, and hopefully it will all go well for them. This has been great fun, and I absolutely intend to use this more and invest in a new, more updated crucible in the near future, where I can start really smacking some aluminium through this, because it was working wonders on my latest test, which you'll see very shortly. Take care of yourselves and have a great day.